Hey everyone, welcome to Dutchman's Woodchuck. What today I'm doing is I'm doing maintenance, tool maintenance. I finally had an issue where I had to stop everything and work on my tools. Now here's the thing: I let things go too long this time. Okay, and I usually am on top of my tools. This year it's been quagmire. I just haven't done it. So it all hit me at once. All right, I have an issue with this. I had an issue with my chop saw over here. Um, my lathe and that bandsaw is probably the only thing that works right now. The other side is the scroll saw. That one needs a little bit work. So what I'm doing here today is replacing blades. Now, see this? This is what the blade looks like. All right. Now, very thin blade, very thin. This thing's like 1/16 of an inch thin. All right. The key is now, and these lights don't do it justice. If you look at it, the blades are thin. All right. Now, this is a new one I'm putting on. Okay, so here's the old one. I'll show you what I'm talking about, how abused it is. I don't know if I can sharpen these or not, but anyway, that's kind of shot. You see the underside there? See, there's a little bit of rust, and I think that I like really beat up in here. Now, sometimes I've hit nails with them. Right here's a good example. Right there's a ding. Anyway, but these none of your blades for any of your tools are going to be cheap. I can tell you that. Okay, so I've got like 3 pairs in here. There's 9 of the blades, and I don't know if I can sharpen these or not. I'm going to find out. But that's going back a ways. So anyway, this one's pretty simple. You have to take a bunch of stuff off to get to it, obviously, but it just sits in here. Now, the key here is I have 2 springs, all right? And that just sits in there like that. And then you get this. Now, you want this to go up and not this way. So you're facing the pinhole. There's 2 pinholes here. And then pinhead. You make sure they go in there right. Okay, so that's in there. Now, there's a top to it. And this is the top. So what you're doing is got three pinholes in there. You line them up with this. Once you get the blade in, I'll put this over here. And there's 8 screws that go in here. Now the trick of it is get it on here without dropping the springs somewhere. Like that. Okay, so now I'm holding that down. And I'm going to put in 2 screws in the middle here. Yes, I have a screw loose. Ha! So, one thing you don't want to do is lose the screws. Now, this thing here, this little red button, don't push the red button. That unlocks it. So, see, they'll lock it. It's kind of like your router bit or your chop saws or anything when you want to change a blade. That's what locks it. Okay, so now here. Oops. Put that over here. Okay, so now these are for other things later. What I like to do when I'm doing these, I like to start from the middle and work out. Now, it's like, again, it's like when I was doing it before. You do a star shape on a wheel, putting a rim back on a car. Same thing. You don't want to be doing like this. You want to do star shape. It makes it tightens evenly as you're going. So, I mean, as far as when you're putting the screws in, yeah, no, you're okay doing it this way. You don't have to go. It's just when you tighten it. Yeah, it's a little dirty. I know. I had to clean it. I thought I'd vacuum that out after we're all done. I did vacuum some out, but now the rollers for this thing are in here. So you can take the cover off and take a look inside. Usually, I haven't done that with this thing yet, but when you maintenance, the other thing is the rollers. There's one here and there's one on the other side. What you want to do with the rollers too is take sandpaper and just lightly go over it, real like 400 or 1,000 grit. And what I usually do is I rub it, just scuff it enough. You can also use steel wool to do that. Okay, so now this is where you start from the middle workout. Don't want to over tighten too much either. Okay, so now this is all in. There's 3 sets, just like that. I only showed you one because I'm done with that. Now, what I usually do is I do a spin check. Make sure all this stuff is lined up. Okay, we're good. So that's good. Now, next step is this. This is actually like a air cleaner. This connects to this motor. This is the motor here, the drive motor. And you want to try and keep this as clean as you can. Most of the time I do, but now what I do is this is the stop for that. Once I put this in and tighten it down, that's what keeps that on. You have to kind of tighten it down a little bit, but and then these lock it down. Okay, last but not least, the chute for when the sawdust goes down. Now, I have a couple of things that I do, and I do have another one of these in here. I'm going to put that back on. Okay, so now what you do is you go. This one here is a pain in the butt to get in sometimes. And it rattles, it does rattle loose. So they're not really long enough, so I kind of want to, I'm trying to find ones like this that fit longer. You'd be surprised when you go to Ace. Ace has a hardware section that's called Hillman. You get just about anything in there. Ace is the place, my man. Ace is the place. Okay, so now she's all set. Okay, so what I'll do here, I get too much crap in the way. I'll start it up here in a minute. We'll see how she works. Okay, so now always wear this because it's loud. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn this on and see what happens. Okay, that smoothed that out quite a bit because that was rough. This is another story. See, when I was doing this, this is all burry, and that's because the blades were like crappy. So let me see here. Oh. Okay, she works. She works. So that's maintenance number one. I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so that's the first one. What I'll do now, what I like to do is when you're doing maintenance on anything, right, you always want to make sure you always pull the plugs on this. You know, it's a safety factor. A lot of these have these push button things here, like this. If you have kids around, get rid of it. You know, make sure you take it off and put it someplace safe so they can't. Once you do that, you can't flip the switch on it. So, all right. Well, that's a little safety tip and tool maintenance on my 13-inch thickness planer, Craftsman thickness planer. Great piece of work. I mean, great piece of tool, and I use it all the time. With that note, I'll say, if you're not making sawdust, you're not being creative, so get with the program.